Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. We're going to talk Cavs, we're going to talk some Guardians, we'll talk the Browns, and we'll look at the Major League scoreboard. Uh, we'll get to all that, but first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Uh, who was the Guardians Gold Glove winner in 2016? And I'll have the answer later on the podcast. Uh, Well, we're going to start with the Cavs. Ty Jerome's time with the Cavs has come to an end. Uh, Jerome reportedly agreed to a 3-year, $28 million contract with the Memphis Grizzlies shortly after NBA free agency negotiating period began. Was last Monday. Cleveland signed the journeyman Jerome to a team-friendly 2-year deal in 2023. Well, Jerome appeared in just 2 games during his debut. Uh, during his debut season because of a severe ankle injury. He returned to full strength in 2024-2025, enjoying a breakout season in which he finished third and sixth in man of the year, and effectively played his way out of the Cavaliers' desired price range. Uh, In 70 games with Cleveland, Jerome averaged a career high 12.5 points a game and on 51.6% with Cleveland from the field and 43% from 3-point range to go with 3.4 assists, excuse me, not 34, 3.4 assists. A picture of the every night rotation and team's most reliable reserve. Jerome appeared in all 9 playoff games, although he got benched of ineffectiveness during the first half of Game 5 against the Indiana Pacers. Now Jerome is heading to Memphis, cashing in on a career year, getting another fresh start, and set to serve as Jamorant's uh, backup, and it will be Jerome's fifth different team in 7 NBA seasons. In the days leading up to free agency, there was a uh, pessimistic tone during coming from Cleveland about its chances of bringing back Jerome and sharpshooter Sam Merrill with the cap strapped. Cavs agreeing to a 4-year, $38 million contract with Merrill on Saturday. It made resigning resigning Jerome one of the highest uh, rated free agent point guards. Excuse me, more unlikely. Prior to Saturday's agreement, the Cavs were projected to have nearly $240 million in salary commitments for next season, and a number that puts them more than 21 million over the league's restrictive second apron and deep into luxury tax. A few hours before finalizing negotiations with Merrill, the Cavs agreed to a Saturday afternoon trade with the Chicago Bulls, acquiring supersized guard and 2017 second overall pick Lonzo Ball in exchange for swingman Isaac Okoro. That trade happened just last Saturday, a couple Saturdays ago, excuse me. Uh, the uh, the cerebral ball will take some of Jerome's old ball handling responsibilities, serving as a secondary playmaker. He's also a much reliable and impactful defender. A few nights earlier, Cleveland selected uh, combo guard Tyrese uh, Proctor with the number 49 pick, and that was in a couple of weeks ago, the NBA draft. Another layer of security, protection, insurance, and depth at the guard spot. So, and given the Cavaliers' current salary cap uh, situation, they can't offer more than the veterans' minimum, worth around $3 million annually, to any outside free agent when the uh, moratorium period began last Monday, well, a couple of Mondays ago at 6 p.m. The Cavs, well, it's the last Monday at 6 p.m. The Cavs were looking at opportunities to fortify their bench with a low-cost additions at multiple positions. One of those targets is veteran center Al Horford, but I don't think they're going to go after him, who was in Atlanta with the Cavs, with Cavs coach Kenny Atkinson. The 39-year-old Horford is a three-time NBA All-Star and one-time NBA champion. Uh, the Cavs went 64-18, the top mark in the Eastern Conference during the regular season after sweeping the Miami Heat in round one. But Cleveland got bounced out of the playoffs, and as you know, in the second round of and round two of the conference semifinals for a second year. So we'll see what happens with these trades, and but I think these were some good moves, and the Cavs have signed a popular player, and take a wild guess of who it is, and I think you might recognize this name. As I said, as far as family reunions go, this is a fun one, and the Cavaliers have reunited with, and I think this name will ring a bell, Larry Nance Jr. on a one-year free agent contract for ESPN. Nance Jr. has played for the Cavs before, but he is just as well known in Cleveland because his father, Larry Nance Sr., was a longtime Cleveland star. Nance Jr. is 32 years old now, and he averaged 8.5 points and 4.3 rebounds per game for Atlanta in 2024-2025. He missed the tail end of the season with a fracture in his right knee. The big fella will get to serve as a backup for Evan Mobley and Jared Allen on the Cleveland interior. Nance Jr. has played for the Lakers, Pelicans, Trailblazers, Hawks, and Cavs. He attended Revere High School in Richmond, Ohio. His Cavs season spanned from 2017 to 2021, and those four Cleveland years, Nance Jr. averaged 9.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 2.6 assists, and 1.4 steals per game. Larry Sr. played 7 years for the Cavaliers in the late 80s and early 90s. Yeah, he stud putting up 16.8 points and 18.2 rebounds per game in that span. The Cavs know they won't quite get father's production in this second go around with Nance Jr., but he's an experienced NBA big man who should be the ideal lob threat as a backup to Cleveland's established uh, front court. So we'll see. I think this was a good move to re-sign him and to reunite with him. And we're going to right now reveal. It's time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Who was the Guardians Gold Glove winner in 2016? And if you said Francisco Lindor, you are correct. Francisco Lindor won the Gold Glove award in 2016. And I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast. So stay tuned for that. Right now, we're going to talk about the Browns. And the Browns plans to build a new stadium in its suburban Brook Park. Brook Park cleared a major hurdle on Monday of last week as Governor Mike DeWine signed a state budget bill offering 600 million and uh, this was 100 million and state help for a new stadium, though his preferred way to get the money by doubling the state's tax on sports betting companies was rejected by lawmakers in favor of raiding unclaimed funds held by the Ohio Department of Commerce. Browns owners Jimmy and Dee Haslam, who lobbed lawmakers for more than a year for the money, have pledged to provide half of the stadium's estimated $2.4 billion price. The Haslam's plan calls for Cuyahoga County to uh, the furnish the remaining six 600 million, though it remains to be seen whether county officials will offer the money. County Executive Chris Ronayne has vocally opposed the idea through some county council members and have been more amendable to it. So now, if built as proposed, the Browns' new stadium will be one of the most expensive stadiums in modern history. Uh, the Cover Stadium, which is anticipated to seat roughly 67,500 people during NFL games and as many as 75,000 for concerts, would feature a field sunk 80 feet into the ground, so as not to interfere with planes from nearby Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. So, and last Friday, 2 days after the state lawmakers passed their budget plan, the Browns, which was on June 26th, the Browns bought the land underneath the proposed stadium site for 76 million. If all the funding is secured, the team hopes to move from its current lakefront home to the new stadium in time to start the 2029 NFL season. So I have we have 4 more years yet in the in the current stadium, and and how was the state providing the 600 million under the new budget? 1.7 billion will be taken from the state's 4.8 billion unclaimed property fund, which contains money from inactive bank accounts, old safe deposit boxes, and uncashed checks and insurance policies that no one has claimed after 3 to 5 years. And their legal battle has erupted over Ohio's plans to seize unclaimed money for the new Browns Stadium. And state budget impacts a lot of lesser known products will affect Ohioans' lives. And Vivek as Warmy claims new Ohio fundraising record with 9.7 million all capital letter, and of that 1.7 billion, 600 million will go toward covering the Browns' Brook Park Stadium cost. The remainder can be used to cover the 25% cost of other new stadiums or cultural facilities, up to 250 million for the project. Lawmakers' budget plans sought to limit eligibility to projects costing at least $50 million for sports stadiums and $5 million for cultural facilities, and projects costing less than 500 million could only have gotten 15% of the cost covered by the state. And however, DeWine vetoed these limits, stating that each project would each project would should be evaluated on its merits and sized on and of its instead of its size. Excuse me, and having and that having such thresholds would have the perseverance incentive of encouraging projects to become unnecessarily more expensive. Now, until now, people have unclaimed money held by the state have been able to file and claim it, but under the new budget, any money held in the fund for 10 years or more will be deemed abandoned and as cheated, taken by the state. So, but that's just some of what has been going on, and there is a, and it's also gutted the Modell law as well. And so, but there has been, uh, and the law firms files a suit. They're filing a lawsuit against the Browns from using unclaimed state funds to build the new stadium. And members of the let's see, and the members of the Cleveland-based uh, Dan law firm have officially filed a class action lawsuit in hopes of blocking the use of at least 600 million in unclaimed state funds to help pay for the Browns' planned dome stadium in Brook Park. The effort being led in part by former Ohio Attorney General Mark Dan and State Representative Jeffrey Crossman, who previously spoke to reporters about the intentions to go forward with the suit. The compliance uh, seeks an injunction to stop the team from using the unclaimed funds, claiming the money is private property of Ohio citizens, and any attempt to divert it towards private stadium construction would be unconstitutional. Now the Browns are seeking to break ground on the roughly $2.4 billion Brook Park Stadium by sometime early next year. They have asked for 1.2 billion in taxpayer funds from state, county, and local revenue streams to help finance the project. In other months of debate, the Ohio General Assembly opted last month to allocate $600 million in unclaimed dollars as part of the state's biennial budget. Governor Mike DeWine signed that and measure law a week ago, as you know. And but that's just some of what's going on, and well, I'll keep you updated on this story of what happens. And the Guardians are going to try to snap their 10-game losing streak tonight, and because they need to. And right now, I can tell you, they are up 6-5 in the top of the eighth against Houston, and 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 right now, I think the Guardians are they're up 6-5 in Houston. Excuse me, in the top of the eighth with one out, and they are batting right now, the Guardians. So we'll see if that lead can hold. Uh, and and as you know, Gabriela Arias is on the disabled list for season-ending injury. He won't be back till next season. And Jose Ramirez will be a starter in the Major League Baseball All-Star game in just about a week and a half. Uh, The Miami Marlins are up 5-1 in the middle of the eighth on the Cincinnati Reds. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim up 3-2 in the top of the third against Texas. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Diego Padres are in San Diego tied at 1. In the top of the third, the Philadelphia Phillies are down 1-0 to the Giants in San Francisco. The final scores: the Detroit Tigers beat the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 5-1. Boston Red Sox beat the Colorado Rockies 9-3. The Toronto Blue Jays beat the Chicago White Sox 8-4 in Chicago. Kansas City Royals got a win at home over Pittsburgh 9-3. And the Milwaukee Brewers, they also got a win at home over the Dodgers 9-1. So that's your MLB scoreboard. Let's see if the Guardians can hold on this lead and snap that losing streak. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. And my next podcast, I'll have more on the Cavs and Browns and other news, and I will also have I'm going to do a collectible segment in my next one. I haven't done that in a while. And coming this fall, be aware I'm going to have a new format. And by the time this fall rolls around, the NFL season starts. So look in, stay tuned for that. But yeah, I'll have a collectible segment. We'll have more about the Browns, Cavs, and Guardians, and other sports news as well. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.